For years, John Ramirez built his entire reality around a single, uncompromising metric: absolute spiritual control. He engineered a life where possessing power functioned as the very foundation of his self-worth and his identity. But the rigid structure he relied on started to crack. The convictions he had fiercely defended for so long were suddenly subjected to a level of scrutiny he had never allowed before. He realized the answers that used to bring him confidence were now leaving him completely hollow. He was looking at the terrifying prospect that the very path he had dedicated his entire existence to was dissolving right underneath him. The most profound internal collapses usually do not announce themselves with a sudden, catastrophic failure. They arrive quietly, right at the moment a person realizes that successfully achieving their ultimate goal still leaves them without peace. During this period of quiet vulnerability, John repeatedly crossed paths with people who spoke about Jesus Christ. Initially, their words did not sway his logic, but they lingered in his mind long after the conversations ended. He noticed a glaring anomaly in their behavior. He was observing individuals who possessed a calm, unmanufactured stability that his own system of control was completely incapable of reproducing. This diagram illustrates the exact conflict he was processing. On one side, you have a rigid, top-down mechanism representing his old life, a system requiring constant, exhausting performance to maintain power. On the other side, you see a stable, open, and flowing structure. This represented the effortless peace he was witnessing in others. The stark difference created an intellectual itch he could not ignore. Instead of fiercely defending his crumbling worldview, his rigid mechanism shatters. He actively began investigating what it was about Jesus that caused such a complete transformation in a person's life. He was not looking to casually adopt a new religion. He was engaged in a desperate, analytical search to uncover what was actually true. For the first time in his life, John opened the Bible with a completely different objective. He bypassed the instinct to debate or search for logical flaws, and instead read the text strictly to understand the message that had influenced millions of people. What he found was an operating system entirely alien to his own. He encountered the concepts of unconditional grace and forgiveness, ideas that lacked the transactional nature of his past. His previous worldview dictated that power must be seized and maintained through effort. The Bible, however, presented a message of total surrender, arguing that true strength was found in admitting one's own insufficiency. This realization was terrifying because it dismantled the very mechanics of his success. To accept grace, he had to admit that his years of searching for spiritual dominance had been a pursuit of a hollow prize. Adopting the gospel required a total replacement of his internal logic and motivations. This transition carried massive external costs. Moving forward meant severing ties with a past that defined him, and accepting that many people around him would criticize his decision or misunderstand his motives entirely. The internal struggle was even more taxing. He had to systematically dismantle his own ego, shedding every title and bit of influence he had wielded, until his old identity was as unrecognizable as a crumbled monument. After a long and agonizing period of reflection, John made the definitive choice to hand over his life and his will to Jesus Christ. This decision marked the final end of the person he had been for decades. Total renewal begins only after the old foundation is completely cleared away. John is entirely transparent about the aftermath of his choice. The act of surrender left his long-standing habits and daily struggles firmly in place. He outlines true spiritual rebuilding as an active, continuous pursuit. It required learning the scriptures and making a conscious, daily decision to follow Christ. To foster long-term growth, he integrated himself into a Christian community, relying on shared worship and the support of others walking the exact same path. Over years of quiet, steady growth, he felt compelled to share his experiences. He started speaking in small churches, eventually authoring books and transitioning to public speaking, always keeping his focus on pointing the audience toward Jesus Christ rather than himself. Genuine spiritual change proves its validity through quiet, sustained daily discipline over the course of years. not through a single dramatic emotional peak. His individual history points directly to a universal human condition. We are all searching for a baseline purpose, trying to find meaning through wealth or through chasing professional success or various spiritual pursuits. John's ultimate conclusion is that none of those alternative systems can ever generate the foundational peace that is freely offered through Christ. His journey is evidence that the past doesn't have to be a permanent destination. New directions remain possible regardless of where a person started. If this story made you reflect, please subscribe to Rescued from Darkness, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone needing a message of hope. Next week, we will explore the story of Doreen Virtue. We'll examine how she walked away from her influence and status within the New Age movement, only to eventually embrace faith in Jesus Christ. Do not miss that episode, because any truth worth its name will always challenge our deepest preconceptions and demand profound reflection.
Thank you for watching until the end. If this testimony touched your heart, please subscribe to Rescued from Darkness, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs a message of hope. Next time, we'll uncover the extraordinary, the false light, the Doreen Virtue story, one of the most influential voices in the New Age movement, who, according to her own testimony, left that path and placed her faith in Jesus Christ. You won't want to miss this powerful testimony. Until next time, may God bless you, strengthen your faith, and remind you that no darkness is greater than His light.